Whole bunch of wood for you.
More than 2 cords.
I'll load it tomorrow. That's as much a day's work as a man could expect, especially from a couple of young'uns.
Thank you, Mr. Calder.
Now, boys, I got that north pasture to start clearing. Now, if you mind to.
Yes, sir.
Same wages, 20 cents a day each.
Oh, we'd like that fine.
I'll expect you both bright and early tomorrow. For you?
Thank you.
Rest you boys be running on. You'll be late for supper.
Bye, Mr. Calder.
See you tomorrow.
Getting sore fat at work most every day.
Yeah. If things keep going the way they are, we could end up saving an awful lot before summer's out.
How much you think?
$10, maybe $12. Even more if we work 6-day weeks.
What do you spend yours on?
Don't rightly know. Just kind of like that feeling it's all piling up.
Yeah, me too. See you tomorrow.
Bye. Just isn't fair.
Quite agree. Well, I'll tell you, it's partially my fault. I've been so busy doing my work, I haven't been keeping an eye on him, making sure he's doing his chores.
Well, I think it's time we got it settled once and for all.
Oh, don't you worry, I will. Hey, Gary.
Do what you were cooking halfway up the road. Oh, hungry as a bear. Andy and me must have chopped and stacked over 2 cores today. Something the matter?
How about I'd like you to go upstairs, take a look at your part of the loft, please?
Why?
Just do it.
Sure. All right, I'm looking.
You see anything wrong?
Wrong?
Wrong.
Nope. Just the way I left it.
Well, that happens to be our problem.
Huh?
The bed isn't made. The whole place is a mess.
And it's starting to smell bad. Well, but I like it that way. Maybe I shouldn't leave food lying around, but, like making the bed. It doesn't make sense. I have to mess it up when I go to sleep, and, well, that's practically the only time I'm up there.
Albert, when this many people live in such a very small house, well, if one person is deliberately messy, then everyone suffers.
Now, keeping your part of the house neat is one of the rules around here.
Well, sure, but
No buts.
look.
Look? You want to look? You come on outside with me. We're going to look. All right, now you've been neglecting your chores outside, too. I want you to take a look at this chicken coop.
You mean you really expect me to do all that besides putting in a hard day's work?
Well, of course I do. I never asked you to put in a hard day's work at somebody else's place. What do you want to work all the time for anyway? It's summer vacation.
Well, isn't vacation a time when people do what they want?
Exactly. Of course it is.
Then why shouldn't I work if that's what I want?
Well, no reason at all. As long as you do your chores, you keep the loft clean. Now, come on, clean up the coop.
Do you have to do those kinds of things when you come home from a day's work?
Of course I don't.
Why?
Because it's different, that's why.
In what way?
Albert, try to understand. I'm supporting a family. I'm doing a man's work.
Is chopping firewood man's work?
Sure.
Is clearing a pasture man's work?
Yeah?
Is plowing a field man's work?
Of course it is.
Well, that's what I've been doing. So if I can do the work of a man, I should have the right to be treated like one.
Albert, I am the man around here, and you do what I say. If you want to work, you work for me, and I'll pay you.
No, that'd wreck everything.
Why?
Because it's an allowance. And allowances are for kids.
Well, what are you?
I'm a man, and you just said so.
I did not.
You said a man chops wood, clears, and plows.
Clean a
fields.
coop, Albert. Come on, clean a coop.
Grown-ups. Whenever they're wrong, they yell at you.
Just clean a coop.
But I already told Mr. Calder I'd keep on working for him.
No.
Alice, looking back, even before I was as old as Andy, I was already doing a man's work. The boy ain't no different than me.
Oh, yes, he is.
Well, how?
When you were his age, there was no school. You didn't have to stop being a man at the end of every summer and go back to being a boy. A boy with schoolwork and chores.
The boys understand that this is just for the summer. Ain't that right, son?
Well, not getting educated didn't hurt you none, Pa. Can't see why it wouldn't hurt me neither.
There. You see?
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
I've been meaning to talk to you about it.
About what?
Well, since I can do a man's work, I don't see no need to go back to school.
Any need. Now, you see the kind of idea you put into his head.
I did no such thing. Son, when I was your age, there weren't no school, and I didn't have a chance for an education. You're going to have that chance.
So?
Oh, sew buttons on your shirt. Go to your room.
You always said you'd be so proud of me if I ever grew up to be like Pa. And when I want to, just send me to my room.
But after supper, I'll go over to the Ingalls place and tell Albert that Auntie ain't going to be working with him anymore. I don't know what the answer is, Charles. It seems kind of wrong telling a boy no and not telling him the why of it.
Let them have their own way, you know we got. A couple little boys acting like lords of the manor because they earned a day's wages.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, I got to find out there's a mighty difference between saying you're a man and being one.
All right. Pull that light over here for me.
Yeah. Funny thing, when I was that same age, I was exactly the way they are.
Yeah, me too. Couldn't wait to be a man.
Yeah. I remember one time, I was feeling so full of myself. Took on something my pa said I wasn't ready for. Old Trapper got himself kicked in the head by a mule. His eyes swelled up and wanted to hire me to run his lines while he was mending. You know, collecting and baiting and such. Spent 3 days and 3 nights out there all alone. My pa, he argued hard. Finally just up and said, go ahead and go. Well, I don't have to tell you that those were 3 of the longest, loneliest nights of my life. Something about being out there all alone in the wilderness. Knock a hole in the way a swelled up young man's feeling about himself. Mother Nature kind of has a way of doing that, Charles. You know, it wasn't until a couple of years later I found out that my pa had followed me those 3 days just to make sure no hurt come to me.
Jonathan, I think that's it.
You think that's what?
Put the boys through something like you went through.
You mean kind of like a test?
Sure. Look, you know that road to Sleepy Eye. Well, that winds around some of the roughest country in the state. Have we sent the boys?
Now, Charles, we can't do that. That ain't no fair test. They'd never make it.
Well, I know. They would learn a few things, wouldn't they?
You think they'd go for it?
Well, you did. What do you say?
I think that's downright mean. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's. Oh, let me forget to give you your beef jerky.
Is that all we get?
Well, part of the test, son. You got to learn to live off the land, forage for your food.